Hey everyone, welcome to Teachers Live, a live webinar for teachers only. Today we're talking and learning about pretty new tool to me. And I hope that you will love it. I'm sure actually. And if you're watching us as a recorded version, please don't forget that you can grab your highlights. You can post them on Twitter, Instagram, on Facebook, wherever you are on socials actually. And please drop in the comments in the Q&A box from which part of the world you're tuning from. What is your teaching role? Today we are talking again about Propello. Personalizing Learning with Propello with William Chasse. And I can't wait to invite William to our studio. Are you ready? Yee! Hi, William. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing incredible, actually. I was daydreaming and dreaming to invite you as a guest speaker to share about your passion about Propello. Since Easter 2023, we met there, actually. So it was
Yeah,
incredible. Thank you so much for joining us today.
thank you so much for having me.
I can't wait to hear your self introduction before we dive in. Before I'm going to ask you a very common question here about inclusive education, and you are sharing about Propello, which is incredible, and I can't wait. But for now, I'm sorry for my crazy behavior. My mom is coming today, and I'm just anyway.
It's exciting.
I just want to ask you to give yourself a brief self introduction for our beautiful and incredible, amazing viewers today.
Absolutely. Want to say hey to everyone out there. My name is William Chasse, and I am an education partnership manager with Propello. Before I joined Propello, I was a teacher for 13 years in a variety
Wow.
of roles. Um, I started off as an English as a second language and special education teacher, and also a technology coordinator, and
Oh
later
my God.
transitioned
So many
into
hats. So many hats we're
later,
wearing.
later transitioned to a language coordinator at an international school down in the Republic of Panama. So done it
Oh
quite
my God.
quite a few hats. But the majority of my time was spent out in the beautiful state of Oregon in Portland Public Schools.
When you shared last time we've met about your background in special education and everything that you just so inspired me. And this is my favorite combination. When teachers, like even ex-teachers, okay, whatever, they join the educational platform with all of their background and experience, it's always super beneficial for every platform and especially for us users of the platforms. So thank you so much. And I think I just want to say hi on this very positive and lovely note to Citizen Kanham. Hello, friend from Ghana, language tutor. This is amazing because again, so you can always address to Propello team and William especially. So any demo presentation of Propello, it's free, it's ready to go, and it's incredible. When you were providing this to me, I was shocked because can you provide just brief overview of all of the features like LMS? We can create courses on Propello. Is it correct?
Absolutely. I think my background in special education really was what drew me to Propello. When I first found this company, I was just kind of blown away at how accessible it is for all students.
Wow, my
We
favorite word.
know, yeah, obviously different populations around the world are,
Yes.
everything's becoming much more global, right? So being able to meet the needs of every student, whether they have learning differences or linguistic differences. That's what stood out to me about Propello when I first found out about
I just want to do that.
it.
So inspiring. I'm an ESL teacher slash edtech consultant, but this is something that inspires me so much, especially if anyone had experience working with dyslexic learners or anyone with special needs. And this is the best when we've got this options of inclusivity and accessibility on the platforms. And okay, again, so my question is for now, I think it's the best time for that. What inclusive education and what does it mean to you with all of your beautiful background experience, William? Just can't wait.
Yeah, I think inclusive education is everything. It's understanding, it's adapting, it's meeting the needs of all students, regardless of where they are, and that can be uh, linguistically, that can be emotionally, behaviorally, learning differences. It's finding out what works for each individual person, and not trying to get them to fit into something else, but catering to what makes them the best student, the best person they can
Oh
possibly
my.
be. For me, it started when I was in seventh grade. I joined a club called the Social Group at my middle school, and it paired students from the general education classroom with students receiving special education services, and it really kind of sparked this interest in me, and it really from then on out. I knew that I wanted to teach special education. I knew that I wanted to fight for a more equitable, inclusive education environment for all students. And
This.
I think it started in the classroom, and I'm excited to continue that journey with Propello, to be able to support teachers and ultimately help them support their students.
Fight for them. Like this phrase. Oh my God. I really can't wait to learn from you again. I'm just joining my friend Citizen can come. Yeah, I can't wait when you start sharing about Propello. And I just want to highlight that if you've got any questions, drop them in the Q&A box. Just here, if you're watching us on LinkedIn or Facebook Live, just hit the link and join us on YouTube. I think it's going to be more interactive over here. Anyway, all of your comments I'm going to see. I'm going to pass it to William. And don't forget to share your highlights, wows, and house from the session and post them on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and just share what you've learned today because I'm sure you're gonna grab your highlights today. You will love Propello. So right now, I'm just passing the mic to you, William. So you may start sharing your screen, and we can't wait to learn about Propello. Woo!
Absolutely. Yeah, looking forward
Actually,
to it.
I
All
made a
right.
poll on YouTube and seen that the most percentage of people they haven't used Propeller, but someone did. So please don't hesitate and share your insights. What you love about Propeller, or what's like you have learned again. You may just share in the Q&A box, but we would love to see your learning experience on socials as well. So here's on
That's
this. It's on the screen. Yay!
Yeah, that's very exciting that that there's someone that's tried it out. But I'd say even more exciting that there are people out there that are going to learn what we're all about and what we have to offer here with Propello. So we're based on the inquiry model of education. We want to create lifelong learners. We want to get students engaged. We want to provide them with hands-on activities, less of the teacher lecturing in front of the class, and more of the teacher as a facilitator and allowing the kids to kind of take control of their education and their learning.
Wow.
Um, so a few things that Propello provides, which I'll show you here. We have project-based assessments and activities, a lot of hands-on activities embedded within each of our units. We have diverse authors and perspectives. One of the things that we sought to kind of switch up was moving away from, a textbook that might sit on a shelf in a classroom for
Yes,
5, 8, 10 years, and shift that into something that is dynamic. It's easily adaptable. It's something that is constantly changing with the times. Obviously, a lot of science concepts they stay the same, but everything else surrounding them is constantly changing. And um,
absolutely.
for that, we want to stay relevant for today's learners, especially as technology becomes more and more advanced by the day. Uh,
Absolutely.
so here is the landing page for Propello. You can see down on the bottom right corner, we have a help box. You can always send your questions in. Something's not working out, something you really love. We love to hear that. That's open for anyone to hop in and send those questions and concerns. But as you can see on this main screen, we have all of our courses. Now I'm going to focus today on what is provided in what we call a teacher Lite account, which is access to 3 full years of science curriculum and content.
Wow.
As you can see, it's based in sixth through eighth grade. Later this year, we will have an English language arts sixth through eighth grade curriculum as well. Really excited
Wow.
about that. Really looking forward to that. One of the things we wanted to do here at Propello was start with science. We think it's incredibly important. We also recognized it as an area of need where um, schools focus on math, they focus on English language arts, and science is almost kind of a, an afterthought. A lot of the teachers I speak to, they talk about having to piece together all sorts of things to create their curriculum. Teachers have so many roles within a building as it is. I remember how many hats I wore just when I was a sixth grade learning center teacher. It was overwhelming, and to then have to kind of pull all those things together, it's quite a bit to ask of teachers. And so we want to provide all of that here, provide it with all the accessibility features, with the activities, with the videos, with the embedded knowledge checks, so that teachers aren't having to do work hours and hours and hours outside of their contract. Um, so let's
We
go ahead
need
and
time savers. Yes, I'm
yeah.
sorry for interrupting. Yeah, time
No,
savers.
no. We identified teachers as the number one success metric in schools. Obviously, when a teacher feels supported, when they're provided with professional development, when they're provided with the resources that are standards aligned that they need, um, they're successful. And when teachers are successful, their students benefit and their students are successful. So often people focus on the student first or the school first. We wanted to hone in on the people that are
Balance.
in the classroom. Exactly. Balance it out, right? Really focus in on those people that are there interacting with the students every single day, right?
Amazing.
Let's go ahead and hop into one of these courses here. And you
Oh,
need me to
wow,
stop
space
and
science.
go back over anything, I'm happy to do that. So as you can see, each course has a number of units. This course has 14 units, 13 including our pre and post assessments. Now, each of these units is going to be about 4 to 6 weeks, depending on kind of the level of the students in your class, the speed at which they work, the number of activities the teacher decides to use. Um, and we'll start here right at the beginning. Let's start with the universe. To begin with, we provide the teachers with planning resources. Obviously, the teachers are going to need to kind of review what's going on. And we also wanted to make sure that not only the teachers were involved, but also uh, the caregivers at home. So we have a letter here that is for the parents, the caregivers
Wow.
at
Yeah,
home.
that's a great part.
Yeah, obviously that home to school connection is incredibly important. We want what happens in the classroom to continue on at home. We want the parents to be invested, the caregivers to be invested in their students' education. Let's talk about the universe. What did you do today? I hear you have this exciting activity that's going to be taking place. How was that? So this is something that the teachers can send home. It just explains the overall unit. And from there, the teacher has a guide of what are you going to do during this unit, right?
Oh my God.
So gives a little overview, gives them a preview of what's going to go on, and allows them to mentally prepare and kind of section out how they're going to do things. From there,
This is the
all
whole pack. I'm sorry, William, for interrupt, but
no, please interrupt, please.
you're so thoughtful of teachers, like a letter to parents. Again, lesson plan, or it's even more than lesson plan. It's amazing.
Absolutely. I found that my most successful students were the ones that had that very strong home to school connection. When I had that communication with those parents, I found that the success level definitely went up. So we wanted to include that at the beginning to hopefully involve every caregiver that's in the house to be a part of their kids' education. Um, all of our units start with that, and from then launch into a video. These videos are between a minute and 2 minutes long. We wanted to
Perfect.
yeah, we wanted to make sure, obviously, with the attention span of kids nowadays and adults as well. I'm guilty. We wanted to make sure that it was short enough to keep their attention and hook them in, but also long enough to provide some substance. So each unit you will find an introduction video. These all have closed caption. And from there, you launch into a hands-on activity. So this activity is all about traveling through the solar system. So before you even jump into the kind of digital textbook that we have, the content, students are bringing their personal funds of knowledge to the table. They're sharing some thoughts, some curiosities they have. They're really starting to get those wheels turning, and they're starting to engage in, okay, this is what we are going to do in this lesson. So before you even go into any sort of reading and answering questions, you have an activity that all students can participate with. It is something that we identified as kind of central to our 5E, our inquiry-based model of Propello, of our curriculum. And from there, let's see, from there,
Patterns. Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
we're going to hop into patterns of motion. So patterns of motion, you can see on the side, you have your table of contents, right? You start off with a guide here, some teacher tips. So how to really, we've all been there when we've had classes that are reluctant to participate and answer questions and engage. Well, here are some questions that you can really kind of get everyone involved and get those students active in their education. So some suggested questions, some target responses, of course, some off-target responses. We know those always show up, but just a little bit of a kind of a jump start for what they're going to be doing here. A terminology list, as you can see later on, is also underlined and highlighted. And I know this is going to be your favorite part, right? Should we?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask for that, please.
So in this,
Oh my
obviously
God.
given my background, this just made me go, wow. I mean, this is just, yes, yes. I was, the first time I saw it, I was doing the same thing. We have Microsoft Immersive Reader embedded in every single unit. This is something that is very easy to access. As you can see, I basically click those three dots, Immersive Reader. I can also go up here and click Immersive Reader, and it starts from the beginning.
Wow. It's everywhere,
Yeah.
literally. Yeah.
So, and also you can highlight, and that also allows you to just highlight that section. Let's say you're really struggling. Okay, this word right here,
Oh,
I
I
need
haven't
someone to
seen
read
that
it out to
before.
me. So maybe you don't need the whole orbits section. Um, you just need one sentence. Really handy, right? We talk
Absolutely. Like,
about adapting and understanding and meeting the needs of every student. Well, Immersive Reader is something that does that. As you can see, text size, spacing, you can increase or decrease spacing. Comic Sans has been proven to be the most effective
my
font
favorite.
for
Yes.
students with
Dyslexic, especially. Yeah.
dyslexia. Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
That's there. You can change the background. Since Propello is all about purple, I'm going to go ahead and choose purple.
Beautiful.
Um, and other things, you have grammar features right here, different syllables, parts of speech, which is going to become really handy when English language arts gets released, but it's also really helpful now as well. Line focus, you can drill it down to one line, a few lines, or the whole page. We have a picture dictionary right there.
My favorite.
So really, really handy for students with learning differences. Obviously, as you can see, the words can be read out in English. Now, um, as someone who has worked in foreign countries and has taught a very linguistically diverse and culturally diverse student population, our Microsoft Immersive Reader, it makes it 100 different languages, over 100 different
Yes.
languages accessible. So I can come in here and I can change it with the click of a button. And from there, you can also have it read out loud. And so you have students that have immigrated into your school district, into your school, they've joined your class, they're taking ESL courses, but you also don't want them to miss out on their science courses. Well, this allows them to participate. This allows them to be to learn and to progress the same way as their English speaking peers. It's really something that is is game changing. You know, I
Absolutely.
remember meeting with my science colleagues in Oregon, and they were wonderful folks, but you know they were tired. You know, they, as most teachers are, myself included. And after they got done, you know, piecing together all of their curriculum, it was okay. Well, how do I make this accessible for students that might have line focus written into their IEP or other
Yeah,
reading features that help them out? And it was a lot of work, a lot of time. It was time well spent. But Propello puts it at the tips of your fingers. One click of a button, and you're there. And that to me is really what kind of won me over with Propello, and the fact that that is just so seamlessly available in every single unit. Uh,
absolutely. Like this is the word of the day for me. I just want to highlight that we couldn't hear this pronunciation, but I just want from my side, since I love immersive readers so much, these accents are so beautiful, and you can switch and curate even female or male voice. So students, they've got the option to choose, and again, the speed. At the level of the speed of this speaking, it's everything can be curated like easy, because there are lots of other tools like this, but there is nothing comparing to immersive reader with all of this, and
Absolutely.
like nothing, I don't
And
know.
I'm sure you're
That's
familiar with all of the line readers and the text to speech that sound like robots. And
yes, it's
I
awful.
my students they'd say, "Mr. Chasse, no, this is not happening right now." So it's nice to have a very a natural, native sounding um,
Yeah, signing in,
accent. It
absolutely.
sounds like a human being, which is quite nice. Another thing, we have two reading levels. So you can bump down Lexile levels for students that might be kind of still building up their reading levels and their English language arts classes, or maybe their special education resource rooms. So that really allows for a little bit of flexibility with that.
Reading level, oh my god.
Mhm.
Like,
Right there on the side. And we're
wow.
adding in an above grade level to kind of push those students, those more accelerated students, and challenge them a little bit more. As you can
Amazing.
see throughout here, there are little knowledge checks. We want to make sure that what's being taught is being understood. So students can come in and they can answer. They can retry questions. As you can see, I clearly need to go back and read this article one more time,
Yeah.
or maybe I need to ask for a little bit of guidance, right? I can see my latest results, and I can try again. Okay, I've gone back in and I've reviewed it, and ooh, I got it this time.
Yoo-hoo.
so, so the last thing that I'll show you about Propello is, and when we talk about it being customizable and accessible, obviously a big thing is Immersive Reader. Another big thing, those reading levels, right? The hands-on activities, allowing for assessments that aren't just written assessments or multiple choice assessments, but
Yeah.
project-based assessments, right? We also have learning paths, and a learning path can be customized for a specific student, a specific class, a specific subject area if you have multiple classes taking the same subject area. And this typically teachers they kind of condense them into one or two units, excuse me, one or two articles and activities under those units, to make it more kind of digestible and make it more focused.
Yeah.
So a teacher can come in here and they can add different activities and different articles. As you can see, the articles have pictures in the back and the activities are just the
This is so
screen.
beautiful. I'm super visual, like everyone in my classroom, like all the students, they're visual. And I would prefer the tool that would support this visual part. Like I would prefer Wakelet to Word Online or something, because it's more visual, and students and myself. So I know other LMS builders, but lots of tiny, tiny things. Like why text only?
Exactly, exactly. We wanted to make it bring that visual aspect in, as you say. That's so central to what students want and us as teachers want, right?
Yeah.
Just kind of an added aspect that makes it easy on the eyes and also easy to kind of navigate, right? What do I have here? Are my articles and activities in the right place? Do I need to rearrange them? Things like that. Um, from
Yeah.
there, you can go through and you can edit and move around these different. So I want the phenomenon up top, and then we're going to have this activity after that. As you can see, when I finish editing, well, I have it right there into place. Now, one of the things we're very excited about that's been recently released and added to our platform is this heat map. As you can see, I have quite a few students in my second period science class. Student one and student two have hopped in and they've answered some questions. So let's go in and see how they answered these questions. You can see each attempt. You can see how many times it took them to get the correct answer. Uh, Eventually, if they answer it 3 or more times, this little square is going to turn yellow. As you can see, that needs review, right?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
going to go back in, and when you look at your class, you see this heat map, and you can very easily identify, okay, these 4 students at the bottom, they need to get started. They haven't done anything, right? Maybe they've been out on
Wow.
vacation, maybe they've been sick, um,
Yeah.
or oh, those 2 students, they really struggled with patterns of motion. Let's see if we can't provide a little bit of extra support to help kind of build those
Wow.
skills up and get them up to speed.
Incredible.
Really quite nice. And these are the written answers. As you can see, there's a science notebook. And so each of these is going to have the student's answers to the different written questions. Um, this student, we got to go back through and make sure they answer all those questions, right? There's a little prompt to say, hey, do you want to submit this? It's incomplete. But you can see what they have written in the written responses, and that stays in the teacher's results page forever. So it's almost like a notebook that kind of shows over the course of a year, over the course of a semester, over the course of a unit, what students are learning and how they understand what they've
Yeah.
been reading and studying and interacting with, right?
Wow.
So is there anything
Wow.
else that I can show you on here that you'd like to see again, or?
Like you mentioned that there are lots of free ready to use templates like learning paths again, right? So
Mhm.
teachers can go to the library and just
They can go to the library and they can,
choose use the
yes,
filter button and dive in like anything. And more
yes,
is coming, like you mentioned, the language
exactly, yeah. So
learning, teaching.
let's say, all right, I know the students are halfway through this lesson. Let's go and we're going to progress to the Earth, Sun, and the Moon system here.
Hmm.
But I know that we are going to start with the phenomenon, the inquiry activity. That's how we start them all, right? Let's do the moon phases and eclipses. As someone who's been teaching science for a while, I have a really awesome activity on eclipses. So I am going to use my own personal activity. Here at Propello, we can be a standalone curriculum provider, or, and this is something we definitely are passionate about, we don't want to say, hey, you need to take what you've found and what is effective for you and get rid of that. We want to be flexible. We want to be adaptable. We want to make sure that if teachers have something that they love, that they've been using for years, that they know the kids respond to, well, use that, right?
Yeah.
So this eclipses activity, I'm going to uncheck those. I'm going to go ahead and confirm, and I can hop right back into my learning path. And now you can see I have my Earth, Sun, and Moon system right there. So I can collapse this, and we have our activity, our article at the beginning, our planning resources as for the teachers and the caregivers, and then we jump right in to the video, the inquiry activity, and right into moon phases, and then into seasons. So, you know, what we don't want to do is a lot of curriculum companies, they say, well, this is the lesson plan, this is what you have to do first, this is what you have to do second, this is what you have to do third.
Yeah.
We've always have felt like that's pretty restrictive, and oftentimes teachers don't necessarily stick to that. And the other side of that is sometimes they feel kind of, well, I have to do this next, right? We do not want to be that kind of company. We want to have our curriculum be flexible, adaptable, and So teachers can choose what they want to include, what they don't want to include, where they want to include it, all of the above. Uh,
Looks incredible. I'll just share the link to the Wicked Resource Collection where you can find all of the contacts of socials of Propello. And don't forget again to give a shout out to amazing William, Chasse, and Propello team today. And anyway, if you have any questions, you want to learn more about Propello, you can reach them out anytime. You've got beautiful website, I should say, and it's really easy to connect with any one of you. So you're very like more active on LinkedIn, right? Is it
mhm.
correct?
Yeah,
Um,
feel free to find me on LinkedIn. Connect with us on Propello. We started a podcast, which we're really excited about. Where,
yeah, tell us more.
um, yeah, it's called Education Uncharted, and we have
Wow.
different education professionals come in and share their experiences and their insight. We're really excited about that. We have some free resources for teachers, some ebooks, some things on Chat GPT, and other topics that are pretty hot right now in the education
AI,
sphere.
of course.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, so go check that out, download them, and if you want to chat a little bit more, or you want to learn a little bit more about Propello, feel free to reach out to me or to any of us on our socials. And I agree, our website is quite nice. Our marketing folks they're top notch. So yeah,
You're doing
love
an
love the
incredible job.
purple.
Yes, I just, probably someone like hesitate to ask the question, um, is Propeller free for teachers for like
Yeah, so there are features. So basically, the content is going to be free for teachers. Some of the assessments and some of the integrations and other features are not available in that Teacher Lite version. But the Teacher Lite version gives all of that content. The Immersive Reader is going to be there, which is obviously central to what we're about.
yes, game
It's
changer for sure, as you said.
definitely. So it's neat too because we have a lot of teachers using us as a kind of a supplemental way. They have their core curriculum and they're saying, "Oh, we're going to do a couple of units of Propello here on the side." Um,
Mhm.
you can use that Teacher Lite version, or you can kind of hop in and see maybe if there's interest in the building and getting some of those added features. But yeah, check us out. Check us out for free. Sign up for a teacher account. Yeah.
Wow, just this again. We can like free to go, easy to go. We can start creating our courses like since today.
Yep. Absolutely.
Amazing. So I can't wait to create my course because I was looking for a platform where I can start this journey because it's always starting, lots of options, where and why. Like we know Coursera or something, but it's very complex. It looks like complex. Oh my gosh, I didn't have much time on that. But you suggest so many beautiful features and especially immersive reader. I highly suggest to have immersive reader to every platform. Just whenever you mention this, it's always beneficial. Like I was said, yes, you are amazing. Like Propeller is amazing. Because immersive reader is it does makes your platform super accessible for sure. So
that's
everyone can feel included. Parents from different countries, like and of course students and everyone. So
that's the future of education. Got to make it
that's
got to
true.
make it accessible. Got to make it engaging and available. And Propello does all three of those things. And yeah, I appreciate you having me on. This was wonderful.
Thank you, William, so much. Thanks to incredible Propeller team for making such great accessible tool again. And it's a platform, it's huge, it's universe. You can learn about space and universe again. And so many things are coming, and you've mentioned. Thank you so much for that. Tune in to Propello. Don't forget to tag Propello myself and use the hashtag #TeachersLoveItDo. And on this positive and lovely note, as always, so I'm going to say bye to everyone. Thank you so much, William. William, you're super inspiring. I lost the words, but it was amazing to learn from you, not only about Propello, but your whole, the teaching experience background. It's the best. And now, please don't forget to hit the like button, share the video, and also subscribe if you're watching as a recorded version. Thank you so much. Do the same things and stay tuned, stay safe, and see you in the next videos. William, please don't leave the room, okay? So we're grabbing another selfie. Bye, everyone.
Alrighty.